the intro for old time's sake. Hey guys, what is up? Someone20 here, or Lucas for you guys another NHL 26 video. Crazy to say. Crazy times we live in. That's right, I am making an NHL 26 news video. You would have thought it's NHL 22. We're buzzing. Obviously, the release of NHL 26 is right around the corner. I haven't made a video since October. And to be 100% honest with you guys, NHL 25 sucked for the most part, content-wise. I think pretty much everyone can agree on that. It was not very fun to play, not very fun to make content on. The content in-game was not very good. So there were a lot of factors in that, and obviously work has been busy. But yeah, just NHL 25 pretty much sucked for me personally. And if you guys have watched my streams or like know anything about me, I only play NHL. It's quite literally the only video game I enjoy playing. So when it sucks, I lose all fun in video games. So not great. But you know what? NHL 26 is a new year, and they just dropped some HUT info last couple days. Kind of want to go over it. Some interesting stuff here, actually. So essentially, they showed us some pre-order bonuses. Obviously, it's HUT cards. It's pretty much what you expect. But they did kind of show off two new series. We have the Heroes and the Icons. Heroes are kind of like team legends, not necessarily like the greatest players of all time. They're just team-specific players that are fan favorites, really good high-end players from that team, etc., etc. And honestly, the cards aren't really what I wanted to talk about. Kind of cool. I mean, the card design's sick. It looks unreal. Keith Tkachuk, obviously, with Matthew and Brady on the cover. JR for the Chicago one, kind of cool. Zdeno Chara, 84 overall, will be pretty cool. Alec Hemsey, Marcus Naslund, Rob Blake, kind of whatever. Like I said, the cards aren't the big deal. There is one icon, though. And icons are pretty much the same as they've always been. They're the best players that have ever played. They're legends. That's, you guys know what icons are. The roster that we got here, pretty standard. Chris Chelios in a Blackhawks jersey, thank God. Chris Pronger, Henrik Lundqvist, Joe Thornton, which is kind of cool. Kind of a more recent one, makes you feel old. Timo Solani, and the newest one, Sergei Fedorov. I mean, he is probably the biggest new legend since probably NHL 24 when they brought in Bobby Orr. But at that point, like when they brought in Bobby Orr, it was halfway through the game. Not many people really cared. Fedorov will be sick to have in game just from the launch. They released a couple more blurbs underneath all the player cards though. And I think the biggest one by far is essentially they're bringing chemistry back. So if you guys don't know, in NHL, I think it was up to NHL 15 maybe was the last year, maybe it was 16. Essentially, they were line chemistry. Basically, your players would get a bonus for playing on lines that complemented their play style. And that was honestly the big driving force of why they had player types in the game. So essentially, if you had a playmaker, sniper, it was a really good combination. You got full chemistry and your players got a boost. It's something that, I don't know, it was kind of hit or miss. I actually really enjoyed it at the time just because there weren't that many cards out. Whenever a specific player type got released, everyone was hyped. When they finally released a new power forward, it was sick. But essentially, they're bringing this back in NHL 26 with the thing they're calling line combination. I'll put the screenshot on the screen right now, but it seems pretty straightforward. Essentially, you'll get a boost for all the players playing that are on the same team, same nationality. There's one that's like American, Ducks, and Canadian, so I don't know if that's player type. I'm assuming it is. They also show a defensive one where it's Canadian and Nashville Predators, and you get a 2 overall boost. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see how this affects team building at this point in the year. And honestly, it'll be really interesting kind of bringing this back with how many cards are released now. How's it going, Goose? How many cards are released nowadays? Like, in theory, it should allow for a lot more creativity when building a team. Maybe it's not going to be so X-Factor dependent, but I don't know. Something's just rubbing me the wrong way about it. I don't really know what it is. I think kind of the red flag I'm having here is for players that like to use European cards or junior cards or different leagues in general. If they're not the right nationality, you're kind of cooked. The one huge benefit is very obviously theme teams. I think it's be really cool if I want to do my all-time Hawks team like I do every year. I'm going to get rewarded for that with overall boost. Right now, all it says is boost type. It only shows overall, so I don't know what else they could boost. I don't know if they could boost like specific stats. Like if you do all Swedish players, you get better passing. All Russians, you get better shooting. Something like that would be kind of cool as well. If it's just overall, it's essentially the same as NHL 14 and NHL 1, whenever they had chemistry. And before I go into the next topic of what they released the other day, I want to say in the next screenshot, they kind of show, it says active combinations. It says overall salary and AP limit with arrows pointing up, which kind of makes me think that you're going to be able to increase your salary for the new salary cap. We'll get into that. Or you'll be able to increase your AP limit based on certain line combinations. Being able to use more X factors based on chemistry can be kind of cool. I think it's a really unique idea where, hey, you know what? If you want to activate 2 or 3 more X factors, put more Canadians on your team, put more Blackhawks, whatever it is. I actually don't hate it. Like I said, the second biggest thing, and honestly the biggest thing for most people, there will be a salary cap in HUT now. Now, we didn't get a ton of information on this. I'll read exactly what it says right here. A new layer of team building strategy that challenges you to manage your roster wisely, balance stars, depth, and budget, and build a competitive team that fits within your cap. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can kind of think about it. The way that it's making it seem is that salary caps can be in every HUT mode. I don't see why they would put it on this general HUT information website if it didn't apply to everything. If it was its own game mode, they would say, hey, a brand new game mode where you can use salary cap. In my mind, this is going to affect every single game mode in HUT. And obviously, that blurb's all we know, but my mind instantly goes to, okay, in champs, you can have 100 million. In rivals, you can have 75 million. In squad battles, you can have 600 million. Doesn't really matter. That's my mindset, that I think that's the only way you can make a salary cap work. Because at the end of the day, I want to use the best cards I have, right? Like, I don't want to necessarily be put into a corner based on, hey, I'm playing rivals, so I can't use my sick team. And I understand the competitive balance aspect, but at the same time, I just can't imagine they're going to balance it very well. Goose, you're killing me. Like, in my mind, we kind of saw it last year with the way they did master set items, where some of them got 0 AP for X factors and others, they were just standard. But at the end of the day, how do we know that they're not really just going to kind of manipulate it like they did with AP, where, hey, we have a brand new master set card. This one is only $1 million, but next week it's going to be back to $9 million for each master set. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I'm excited for a salary cap. I think it's a really interesting draw, and it's something that people have wanted for a really long time. So I'm not opposed to it. I just worry more so on the content and how they're kind of going to manage it as a whole. Brief interruption. I want to quickly shout out Neutro. If you guys have never heard of Neutro, essentially they're caffeine energy pouches where you probably have seen pouches similar. These contain no nicotine. Just a little pouch. Pop it in, you're good to go. It has 40 milligrams of caffeine, so it's not going to give you a crazy buzz, but it's great to have throughout the day. If you guys want to try it out, use code SOD at the link down below. And then the last thing they have here is HUT Seasons. HUT Seasons, an all-new dynamic game mode experience where every matchup matters. It just sounds like a HUT Rivals rebrand to me. I think everyone knows that Rivals was pretty much the worst addition to HUT in a long time. Not saying I miss online seasons, not saying I miss competitive seasons. I don't think there's honestly ever been a really good system in HUT. I think online seasons had its issue. I think comp seasons has its issue. I think rivals obviously has its issue. At the end of the day, right now, it only matters if you're playing HUT champs, because the way that they do the rewards, it's basically irrelevant. So, I mean, the HUT seasons thing's kind of whatever. In my head, it reads kind of like how they do in Madden, where it's season 4. It's based on this theme, where it's instead of having these 1-2 week events, they're more probably month-long events where you get multiple cards, multiple kinds of cards and stuff like that, which I think could be interesting. I think it would make kind of these events more impactful, more important, and honestly too, like, it's something that they used to do. I want to say it was NHL 17 maybe. They made custom, at that time it was synergies, custom synergies for each event. If they're able to do custom X factors for each event, let's say you have a sharpshooter event like they did this year. Hey, we have a brand new X factor that you can only get on these master set, these event cards, and these base cards of the sharpshooter event season. But at the same time, I don't want to read too much into it. It says dynamic game mode. It's probably just going to be a rebrand of Rivals, whether they changed how the rewards are set up or how often you get rewarded or whatever it is. It's probably just a rebrand of that. I don't know. I'm all about it. I think there needs to be a better way to play HUT other than HUT champs. But I mean, I think it's an overarching point at the end of the day that I don't think anything right now, player combination, salary cap, HUT seasons, that's not going to fix HUT. In my mind, and I think the general population's mind, it's the content. I think right now, this may be a hotter take than I think. I think we get way too many hut cards nowadays. And this is something I've been preaching in the Game Changer Discord at the EA events. I've been preaching this for probably the past 4 years at this point. We're getting too many cards, and it's just fluff at this point. We get a content day in the middle of the year, and there's maybe one usable card out of 13 total. And at this point, they're just making cards just to make sets work. And at that point, I would almost rather go back to the collectible route where, you know what, players, there's not as many players, but you know what, every player that they put out there is a usable card, is a unique card, and is a cool card. At the end of the day, people want usable cards. People want, like, players that they like. Like, I would love to get more Lucas Reichel cards, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if there's an 84 overall Lucas Reichel. He's not making my team. Even in the beginning of the year, he's probably not making my team. So in my mind, it's the content. The Hut content team needs to take a step back and reevaluate how they're doing things and why it's not working, because it just isn't. I think too, a big thing is just listening and interacting with the community. I know there's some devs here and there that kind of interact with the community in certain streams or certain forums, whatever it is. At the end of the day, I know it's a limited team. There needs to be one hub, and it can't be the EA forums. The EA forums are awful. There needs to be one hub that is very clear at, hey, this is what's coming out, this is why it's coming out, this is when it's coming out, and how you can engage in it. If you're a newcomer to Hut, it's impossible. It is so overwhelming, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. You have to trade in 384 overalls to get 187 overall, but you need 387 overalls to get 191 overall, and when you have those 91 overalls, you get a master set card that's untradeable. And at what point are you just sitting there, just not, like, it's insane to me. I don't know. It may be a personal thing. I feel like it's a pretty general consensus in the community that sets are not designed properly or well. I think players, like I said, it's way too many player cards. And if they're going to continue to release 15 to 20 cards a day, you need to make them usable. At the end of the day, what is the point of releasing an 81 to 86 overall in January? Like, legitimately, what is the point? 90, let's say like 85 or 90% of the community is never going to use half of those cards. So why not make better cards? The better cards there are released, the more unique teams we can have. The reason why everyone's team looks the same for the most part is because those are the only good cards released. I think I'm just ranting at this point, but it's something that I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I don't understand the mindset of the Hut devs. I wish I could, but it's something where I think if you put better cards in the game instead of these fluff cards, you have people opening packs more. I think packs are awful right now because all the special cards out right now are useless, because if they're not in a certain overall range, they're not going into sets, so they're useless. Or two, there's like 290 plus overalls out at a given week, and you're not going to pull anything good. But it is what it is. I want to make a quick video. I haven't made a video in a while. I'm really excited to make NHL 26 content, and I mean that genuinely. If you stuck through the video this long, I appreciate you kind of watching still. And Goose appreciates it too, getting in the video and all that good stuff. I know. At the end of the day, I want Hut to be good. When Hut's good, I'm happy. And that's when I'm making content, when I'm playing the game every single day. I have an urge to get on the game. And honestly, for the past, 3 years, that's been gone. I think Hut is in such a rut, in such a stale state. It's almost miserable to play at a certain point. Please let me know your guys' thoughts down below on how you think these 3 little changes can really affect Hut. And honestly, what is your biggest issue with Hut right now? But either way, hope you guys did enjoy the video. I missed you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye.